party people.
Hi guys! Welcome back to Showgirl Problems. Today we're here again with fabulous Kayla. She's so in Showgirl Problems mode that she even has on her Floquia fishnets. She just wanted to embody everything for this video. So today we have a super fun, exciting video for specifically show skaters, or even if you're just, curious about how we do it, is getting our ice skates tan. There are two ways, and as a lot of you know, there is a new Showgirl boot out by Adea. It just was released about couple months ago, so it's fairly new on the market, only sold in the US from what I heard. Shout out to Abby Kimmelman for helping design it. I absolutely can't wait to try them. Kayla here actually just got the Showgirl boot and skated them a couple times.
Yes.
And before I had Adea's, I actually had tan Harlechs, so I didn't have to paint them either. And I do believe Jackson makes a tan boot as well. But if you run into the problem like with Rydell skates or some other brands, or you just don't, have the money like me right now, hashtag help me I'm poor, or you just don't want to give up those nice skates at the moment, and you run into the horrifying issue of getting a show contract and not having tan skates, we're going to tell you the two different ways to get your skates tan. Or if you just are an exciting soul out there and want to paint your skates or tape them, then this video is for you. All right, so Kayla's going to talk first about taping her ice skates.
Yeah, so right now they're looking a little rough because they've actually had these taped for more than a year. So that tells you that it actually is quite sturdy. But one fellow showgirl recommended this is skate tape. It actually comes in different colors too, so like she said, if you want to just color your skates like green or something, why not? And so they're by the sharper edge, and what I did is I would cut them in strips. I think they also come in a smaller width as well, but I just bought this width and would cut them in half to really get into detail here. And a tip is to stretch it as tight as you can and then seal the deal with your thumbs, if you can see me doing that. And so yeah, I would first take the laces out, and then I would start here at the toe and go back. As you can see, I would also kind of layer over the heel just so you wouldn't have any naked spots. So yeah, and then also I guess it's good that these have hooks. This was probably the trickiest part right here, was to go around the hooks, and that's probably the part that'll mess up the most. But I honestly really liked it. A lot of people, I've gotten comments being like, oh my gosh, where'd you get those? I'm like, it's just tape. So once you actually put in the effort to tape these yourself, it stays on pretty well, like even doing lunges and all that jazz. Like I said, like around the tongue area probably gets eaten up the most just because that's where you're bending and tying your skates. But yeah, other than that, I think we're all good. But and then another tip that I've been wanting to do is actually you can nail polish paint your heels, at least for Adea's because they're silver, to make them look even more like an ice skate. So yeah.
And also I think taping is, especially for people who are traveling maybe city to city or even international and they don't want to carry paint with them, I think taping is, obviously it's a little roll of tape. It's the easiest thing. You can pop it in your purse or your carry-on, and it's the less messy version too. Like if you're staying in a hotel and just don't have space to go somewhere and put newspaper down and paint them, or if you just need them like with that same day, you don't have to worry about them drying. So tapings obviously is the more quick and less messy way to go about it. So painting your skates, mine, as you can see, need a little, TLC on the toe there. But what I do is I first get the blue paint tape, just like you would use in your house on the walls to, seal off something, because it won't take anything off of your skate. It's not damaging to your blades, because what I do is I pop my guard on and around the edge of the blade so it lines up perfectly right here on this edge that goes all around my skate, as you can see. and the blade. So one, it protects the guard and my blade. It also has that nice edge finish too, so it doesn't lap over as well onto the bottom part of my blade. Then I usually do take my laces out even though they're tan, because sometimes when I paint them, if the wind blows, Mother Nature is like, haha, it can get on your lace and it just makes the lace a little stiffer. It won't come off on your hands. It just doesn't feel great when you're tying your skates. But yeah, and so what I do is I go to Michael's or any paint shop. Like even when I was in France, obviously they don't have a Michael's there, but they had a paint store. They had the exact same paint. I get a spray Krylon paint that's for outdoor specifically. I always make sure it says outdoor because that means it's waterproof. So whether you're doing a plastic show going to real ice or just doing real ice, you don't have to worry about it wearing down so fast. When I'm doing a real ice show, I say I usually have to paint it twice a month, and I just put down newspapers or paper or a towel that I don't need and tape it up like I just explained, and make sure the wind isn't going crazy either. And you want to make sure it's in a nice even direction. Just don't like go Tasmania on it. I usually lay the skate flat and I just go like this in lines, and I don't want to be super close because it is a spray with force. I'm about this length away from it. I let it dry. Krylon, the outdoor, dries within 20-25 minutes in my experience, and then I just flip the skate over, and then I kind of go on the heel and stuff. You can tell that the heel's a little bit darker here than like maybe some of these parts, and that's just because more of the paint is getting like layered on it, which you can't tell when your fishnets are over it. And you just let it dry, and then you're good to go. And I do spray the inside of my tongue all the way down. Some people don't do that because you can't see it with the laces, but I like to, just so it looks, complete and finished. I'm weird like that, but that's also why I take the laces out. And then you're all good to go, and you're ready to ice skate. I'll definitely have to give these a little TLC. And the tongue, like, it doesn't even really wear off. It just kind of on the sides, that tucks inside, cracks a little, but again, you don't have to worry about that because it's inside your skate. And yeah, and just kind of like test it, tap it to make sure it's dry and everything, and then you're all set for your ice show.
Yeah, and what we would do, at least in one of my contracts, to touch it up is even just get a sponge and like do that. But it depends on the paint. Some paints, it'll leave more of a texture, and you don't necessarily want that if you want a smooth look. But sometimes if it's what you got, any sort of sponge, just like a little dabble there. So yeah. Oh, and then also, I don't know about your laces, but what laces do you have for your tan laces? How did you make those?
I have a pair. I didn't make them. I thought
it's okay. Well, I can talk about mine real quick. So,
talk about yours.
So another showgirl trick that I've heard, I actually haven't done it myself, but I have plenty of friends that have done it, is even your white, if you're okay with using your white laces, you can just stick them in coffee or black tea and let them soak, and sometimes that works. But also, what I did is, honestly, I just ordered a bunch of different types of laces to get this match, and I lucked out. I'm pretty sure these are the Jackson ones, but yeah, so I lucked out with that. But yeah, the new Showgirl Dea skates already come with tan laces, so that's fine. But yeah, if you want to know about more laces, we've got those and like anything online. So.
And these are the laces I use. I use them because they are shorter, so they fit the Adea boot better than some other tan laces that are on the market that aren't meant for the shorter Adea boot and not as many hooks. I got these at my local pro shop, and I buy them in bulk because they have a year sale and they're only $1.99 on sale. They're originally $3.25. So I keep them because sometimes accidents happen, laces snap, but also a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, where do you get your laces? And so they end up, it's a convenience thing, and because I bought them for $1.99, I don't think you can get a pair of laces, especially if you buy them online, that cheap. So helping other showgirls out, but they're by Elite Figure Skating, called the Pro Lace. It's 84 inches, and the color is called camel. So, yes. And yeah, I would say this is a mixture of a half and half when people refer to that. So half cotton, half polyester, and it doesn't hurt my fingers. Some laces like rub my thumbs really bad, and I haven't had a problem with these. So, yes, camel color.
Camel toe.
Oh my god. All right, but that's all I got to say on this.
Yeah, it's basically it for me too. So,
Showgirls coming at ya. You better paint your skates.
Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, always feel free to leave in the comments or DM us. See you.
ciao ciao.